Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. We have a great show for you.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, no problem. We're doing parasocial relationships. This week will be about subscribers.
We're ready.
Awesome.
All right. So basically, what we're going to explore is what are parasocial relationships and the good, basically the good, the bad, and the ugly of them, and how they can go right and how they can go wrong. And basically, let me pull this up real quick. So I took a note or two. So basically, what a parasocial relationship is, they're one-sided relationship. So either from you or the other person, where one person extends emotional energy, interest, and time, and the other party is kind of just more like, okay, like it's kind of like meh, basically. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. For example, as a subscriber, I think what it is like we will go into our live chats. I enjoy my live chats, and then like what can happen is sometimes you may feel like you're friends with somebody, but then they don't feel the same way, and that can lead to problems.
Awkward.
Has
Awkward.
anyone ever experienced that or witnessed it?
I have.
On the internet, of course you do. Yeah.
No, I mean, but I really don't think people are aware of that. This is an actual thing and an actual problem. That's where I'm going with this. I think there's a lack of awareness that internet is not real life. It's
Right.
real life, but it's not in real life. So have you guys ever experienced like either way, whether you felt like you guys were friends or the other way around?
Well, for me, are we going in order? Am I jumping? I'm sorry.
You can go first.
Okay.
We'll go around.
All right. For me, I have both situations. Like I know it's not when you say in real life. Sometimes I get a little offended because I have actually met people through the internet that I actually real friends with. We know stuff about each other's lives. We talk a lot. We children things that back and forth. We may meet up. We the relationships go beyond the internet. Sometimes you bond with something. A connection is a connection. So sometimes I'm offended by the term in real life, although I know what it means. But a connection can be felt, on the internet. Obviously, if you are communicating with people appropriately, you may make a connection on the internet or not. It's just what you do with it afterwards. You know what I mean? I get these surface relationships you're talking about, though, Jamal, and I think that might be clear what you mean. These interpersonal relationships we have to have on YouTube and Twitter just to interact with people, but that it's not really going very far. That far. Is that what you mean?
So I'll use myself as an example. So I myself will there are people who I say these are my internet friends. I do make that distinction. There's someone I'm friendly with, someone I'm internet friends with, and the difference for me is like if I'm friendly with you, that means I see you in chats and we say, hey, what's up, and we'll chat only within the confines of the chat, which is completely fine. Now, for me, an internet friend is someone to where we interact in the chat, but we also interact on other social platforms via DMs, Discord. We talk about live family, and I do have internet friends. Like most of the people on our panel are I consider internet friends because we talk outside of the confines of chats and things of that nature. So I do make those distinctions. And in real life friends are the people who I can talk to outside of the internet. Like we spent time together in real life. We've met in real life. So that's where I stand. I make clear distinctions so people know where I stand and where they stand.
And that's hard when you have a YouTube channel, right? Because you have people coming at you for conversations all the time, right? Like,
No, no, so
Sorry. He's like, nope.
there's
no,
like,
no,
nope. Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
have
I
any
know.
issues.
No, you don't,
I'm
because
very,
you,
I
yeah,
set clear like boundaries, like
yeah.
very clear. Like my co-host and I, Debbie's similar. Like we talk every day, of course, but our subscribers they'll reach out to us over email or IG, which is completely fine. But we don't go
Mm,
that deep, and the main reason is because we need to establish a level of respect as a
mm-hmm.
creator while we have to respect our subscriber, you know? So
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
we just make sure to establish boundaries. So as we'll get into later, we'll see like, yeah, it's a mess out here in the YouTube streets.
And boundaries should be set. That's something I'm learning as I go with my channel. I talk to everybody. It's just who I am as a person. I talk to random people on the street. I mean, but
That's
like
like me.
I give my
Jamal
phone
would
number
tell you to
out
go
to
the other way.
everybody too, because it's like if someone needs a friend, I'm there if you need to talk, but it gets to the point where maybe we shouldn't be doing that. And I'm learning now as I grow with my channel that I can't give my phone number out to everybody, and I'm not everybody's best friend or friend, and I need to set boundaries.
Yeah,
No.
that makes a lot of sense. I've had the reverse, and I just want to preface this with I'm now on a level with the person I'm about to talk about that we've had phone calls, still never exchanged phone numbers, but and again, don't want to, but I reached out to this person. It was like one of the first people. I barely had a channel. I was just watching their channel and they just seemed like a really cool person. And I just wanted to be like, hey, how are you? We seem to have the same sense of humor, yada, yada. If you ever want to chat sometimes, here's my number. And they're like, whoa, no, I don't give out my number. And that makes a lot of sense because I had not yet understood the full craziness that is people on the internet, even though I should know better. But I also didn't know there were other means like Discord, different things like that. And at that time, I only had a personal Facebook. I didn't have my channel's Facebook. So I didn't have any other way than to just give my number. But they set clear boundaries, but still we gradually developed like it sounds so weird, an online friendship, I guess. I mean, I think I would consider this person my friend. I think they would myself as well, but still I it's difficult because there are other people I have found that I'm closer to than even that person. But I would joke a lot and call people my imaginary friends. Those are my friends on the internet. But I'm with you, Jamal. Like I feel like I have acquaintances. I have people I just talked to in chat. I have so far I've never or have not come across someone too clingy or anything yet. And then there are maybe one or two people I would consider like friends. But I'm okay with that. I like boundaries and I like when people give me boundaries too. Like, no, I'm not ready for that yet, or no, that's not my jam or whatever, as long as they're being respectful and it's not just a ew, no, you. I don't want to talk to you, that's cool. I think that was my point of bringing up the first person I was mentioning. Very clear, respectful boundaries, but still willing to be kind and reach out. And then I think, again, I think this person would say at least we're internet friends. So she's been bumped up from imaginary to internet.
Not like me that keeps getting bumped down to imaginary like every
Yeah,
stream.
you got bumped down. That's what happened.
I did.
When you mispronounced dogwood.
Yeah.
But
No,
you,
but
go ahead. Okay, I was gonna say, sorry to interrupt, but I think what it is now, the term internet friend is not what it used to mean. Because back just a couple years ago, when you said internet friends, people get so offended and so like in their feelings. Like, oh, you're my internet friend. People just get so mad. But nowadays, you shouldn't take it. In my opinion, it's not a bad thing, because like that means like if the person is using friends, which you
Right.
should never use, lightly. It means
right,
there's some connection there. You just haven't met in real life.
right. It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
you
I
don't
tend
have.
to say like in-person friend versus like my friend on the internet.
Yeah. Like I
Like
tell
it's
people
like
all the time.
it's like,
Go ahead.
hello, friend who lives 10,000 miles away and I can't get coffee with, but I would like to because I talk to you like all the time. Like there are people that I talk to that I get advice from that it's very inconvenient to even plan some type of get together, even though you would want to. I mean, I'm talking like 10,000 miles away, like say Australia or England or Ireland or, like New Zealand even. But I talk to people that are having surgeries or going through things. And I really feel a connection with them. I do call them friends, but I just can't have coffee with them like I want to. But
At least not in person.
yeah, because I guess it's just with me, I am friendly with them. Let's just say, like, it's not like best friends if something's wrong. But then there are those that I have met that if something is really wrong, especially if it involves anything to do with the internet, they are the person I'm going to call and talk to about it because it involves the internet. Like, there's different level of internet friends too, and intimacies and
Absolutely.
connections that you have. I would more likely talk to an internet friend about the bullshit that goes on with YouTube than I would someone that I could go to get coffee with right here. Like my girlfriend, I call her up to have coffee and I start talking to her about YouTube and she's like, what? Like,
right. It's kind of
yeah,
a weird world. Even when I try to explain stuff to my husband sometimes, even
Yes.
back before, like just trying to describe to him, I think the one wackadoo we all have in common, he's like, what the hell parallel world are you freaking talking about? You know what I mean? It's hard to explain that to someone that's not participating in this world at some point. Like he watches YouTube, but I don't even know that he has an account to comment or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, there are some people online, or there are some topics that I would only talk to my online friends about. I probably wouldn't talk to my in-person friends about because I'd probably bore them to death. And then they'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't understand what language you're speaking.
Yeah, my boyfriend's the same way. Like, at first he's like, well, how can you consider these people your friends? They're just people that you know from online. It's like, well, I have lots of conversation with them. Like, he hears me talk to them on voice chats, and he even talks to them now that he kind of understands it, but he doesn't because he just watches YouTube. He doesn't get that whole aspect of live chats and Discord and communicating with each other. So it's hard to explain to him.
Real quick,
Rebecca.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good question there.
So, good evening to everyone on the panel. The interview feel that more of us have made internet friends because of lockdown. I would say yes. I would definitely say yes, because if it weren't for lockdown, I don't think I would be on YouTube as much, except for listening to music.
I would definitely say yes because of the time frame, and we all, if you were working from home, you could manage your time better, and you could like sneak on the internet and all. We were watching more YouTube, and creators were making more YouTube, and people were looking for live chats, and looking for connection.
Right? Yeah.
Right. I know I was, because I was one of those people that was locked in my house, still am not allowed really because of my immune system to go out as much as I would like, even though the rest of the household is free to do whatever they want. I am still on a partial lockdown. And so you need connection. Nobody's home all day. You're bored, But I don't think I would have listened to my friends about starting a YouTube channel in February if it wasn't all happening, to tell you the truth. I think I wouldn't have had the time to actually consider it that way. So I agree. I think it's the time, and I think it's looking for that connection we're missing from being around so many people, like from being around people on a regular basis, and just just that regular human interaction you get, even casually, just in the chat, saying hi to somebody. It's like walking down the street and seeing your neighbors. It's filling a void. It's definitely filling a void.
I definitely feel like I have a lot more internet friends thanks to the lockdown, and we don't get to see our normal friends because of being on lockdown, and you kind of are having that text relationship with them as well because of it. And I mean, I talk to Josh literally every day on voice chat for hours upon hours a day, and I feel like he's one of my best friends. And I mean, I wouldn't be able to have coffee with him because he's all the way across the water and then some.
Right? He's over the pond, right? And yet you feel, yes. And I deal with like 12 and 14-hour time differences with some friends, and I deal with the 5-hour difference over there over the pond, and even just an hour or two with the friends that are right here in the States. I mean, it's just not, you can't just get in a car and go have coffee.
Yeah.
That's why JC keeps bouncing me to imaginary, because I never show up for tea. I never show up for tea, do I?
Keep inviting her. She won't drive the whatever 20 hours to get here. I have a little bit of a different perspective, and I'm gonna say this. I don't need sympathy. I don't need pity. My life is awesome. My kid's awesome. Everything is awesome. And yes, I'm referring to the Lego song. I, besides the virus, and lots of other things, people losing their jobs, yada, 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 was somewhat grateful for the lockdown because it was a lot like my life. And I'm like, oh, I actually had more interaction with people, my in-person friends and folks I've met online, because my son's disabled. We do get out, we do things, but there are some challenges, and he does have some health issues. So there are times where I'll plan stuff and can't make it, or I can't just hire any babysitter, who would, but you know what I mean? I have to have someone who's specialized, trained to work with seizures and that sort of thing. So it can be more challenging, although not impossible, to go and meet my friends, to whatever. So being able to just click on the computer, video chat with someone, get on an online stream, chat with other people, join someone, I freaking loved it. I'm like, I hope nobody forgets this connection and hopefully if the pandemic is ever over. I think it has opened up people's eyes, and I know this is completely off subject, but I think it has opened people's eyes to, yeah, this may be just your life for a hot minute because of the pandemic, but this is a lot of people's for real life. Like,
right.
Check in on your neighbor that can't get out. You're online anyway. Do a voice call, do a, whatever. So for me, the lockdown has made more connections with people online for me, but it's also been, believe it or not, more connections with my in-person friends because they're more still physically than I normally am.
Right, because I think what happens is, like, the people who you may want to see the most have maybe been busy working, commuting, all that good stuff. I was talking to some people. I said, for me to commute to work, I had to go into my office. It was literally between either 2 to 3 hours round trip. for commute. So
Mm.
with that taken out of my day, like I kind of have like an extra 3 hours. So if someone wanted to get together, and I'm very grateful that my job is pretty flexible. My manager is pretty flexible. If I wanted to take an extra long lunch, he wouldn't care, because I'm on top of my work. So I think if your friends are working from home too, it's like, oh, like, do you have the flexibility that we can go get coffee at 11 or something like that? Like
Right.
it feels like you have if if
It's given
your
us more
core structure,
time, right?
yes, yes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So,
I know I brought
that's
it
the
a little off topic. I apologize, but
No,
no,
it's
but it's a
okay.
good point. It's perfectly on topic, actually, because the pandemic has definitely affected everything out here, on a daily basis. And still, um, I interact honestly with more of you here on the internet than I get to with my own family, based on now schools are open and everything has to be video call or you got to arrange smaller groups and you got to find out who's vaccinated and who's not vaccinated, and it makes it more difficult to do the regular type of interactions that would fill your day. I just had a healthcare worker was going to have to come to the house, and I was having a literal panic attack yesterday. I kid you not. Too much information, I know, people, but still, this is how it affects you. Somebody real that you don't know and you don't know anything about them is going to come to your front door, and you got to let them in, and they might actually have to touch you, and you don't know anything about where they've been, whether they're vaccinated. You can't trust nothing.
right.
I had such a dilemma over it. I really did.
So
But
the good thing about being on the internet and meeting people is you don't have to touch them. So
this is it. They can't breathe on me.
no
They're not.
cooties.
Yeah, they can't. No cooties. Cootie free zone on the internet. No, but yeah, but no, just seriously, because just like our interactions on the internet have gotten more personal and we're more out there, our interactions in person in our real life have changed drastically. It's like it switched for me.
Yeah.
It's like it switched. Yeah.
And I think this ties into also chats being like parasocial communities, if you, for lack of a better word, we'll just keep it in this realm. They're very important, which is why some of the stuff we've seen over the last couple of months is kind of like sad, because people not feeling like they can go into certain chats because of certain people and certain conversations. It's like you've taken a community away from this person. You've taken away some communication from somebody, and that's never a good thing.
I agree. Some of like the back and forth, and I know we've kind of touched on this subject before, but you can't be in this person's chat or this person. I've really gotten it more from other subscribers versus the creators.
Mm-hmm.
But, I want to go and hang out and gossip about Real Housewives on this channel or do this, or I don't want to don't sit there and bash me because I'm a mod for this person that you don't like. I'm just here to hang out and have community like you are. So yeah, I think those kind of parasocial connections and chats are important too. I mean, there are some people, like you said before, that I just talk to in chats, and we all kind of have our own little banter back and forth, and it's fun, and it makes my day, and it's silly, and it's just kind of mindless, fun entertainment, and it's important.
No, and especially if you're at home all the time, like you want some kind of human connection. Because I was literally used to being in a building where there were a lot of people around. Like, not too many people come to my office if they needed something, but like, I would walk out my office, there were people. So I was used to dealing like not so much with people in the building, but more in a social aspect. Why I'm an auditor, so I mostly deal with people who don't work within my building. Funny enough, I deal with people all across California and some in Canada. So it's I'm generally helping people outside of my area, which is great. But when I wanted to talk to someone, it was easy just to walk outside my office and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" or hey, let's go get coffee. You know, I miss that kind of thing. So at least having YouTube at least gives me some of that interaction. I think it's important. It's more important than people realize. It may not be like sitting across from someone and going to like Pete's or something and having coffee, but you still get that. You could be having coffee while typing with someone in chat, and it's a great thing. I like right now I'm working and doing this panel with you guys, and I really probably wouldn't be able to do that at work. So I'm still getting my connections, just a different way.
It is good until it goes bad, right? And it's like you were saying that people start to try to tell you where to go or what to do. Is that what you were saying, JC? Like people trying to inject their opinion about your behaviors out on the internet. That could be uncomfortable.
And kind of crossing boundaries, like Jamal was saying earlier. Like that's not really your business to tell me or anyone where I can or cannot go, or it's weird and inappropriate in my opinion.
I agree. I agree.
Go ahead, Claire.
I was going to say that becomes really hard on all three levels, but especially as a subscriber, I can understand how subscribers feel attacked when other people are telling them you can't go here, you can't go there. I mean, I think it's ridiculous, actually, and I don't really think it's appropriate behavior for anybody to be injecting on anybody against their own free will what they should be doing. I mean, have opinions, but who is to say that you're right all the time? Or that you know better than anybody else? I mean, I don't like to think that, you know, just because you're in a different chat, it doesn't mean you support everything that somebody is saying. You're there. You're just like everybody else consuming content and checking things out. You're not voicing an opinion just because you show up somewhere. And I know that happens to me a lot when I'm a moderator and because I'm a creator. You know, just because you are somewhere doesn't mean you're like, you know, making an opinion. You know, it's just like, it's a lot of pressure to show up someplace and have everybody thinking they know what you're thinking and they know what you're going to say.
I didn't know
like,
there were so many mind readers on the internet.
Exactly. It's like on the internet, like they know better than you. You haven't said a word, but they know, you know, and I just think, you know, they need to look in the mirror a little bit more. And I'd like to ask them, why do you care so much? Like, why? Like, why is it so important? You know, if I'm on,
why are you so obsessed with me?
Yeah, why are you so? Because I assure you, I don't care that much. Like, I don't know why you care so much. Because I can assure you, I don't. You know, so I don't know.
But that's like. Sorry.
Okay, finish what you're going to say. Then I want to go. This is going to take us into the next topic that I wanted to cover.
Okay.
Sure. It's like someone, though, saying that they can't go watch something they really enjoy. It's like someone telling me I can't go watch my spider videos because they hate spiders. Oh, my God. How can you watch something like that? It's mine.
That's a good analogy. Because I mean, it's basically the same thing. No, this is what I like. Like, why do you think you have a right to tell me what I can do? That's weird. Exactly. Just because you don't like the person, who cares?
Exactly.
It's true.
This takes us into our next topic of conversation I wanted to talk about. When someone approaches you, and you know we'll say you're friendly internet friends. We'll do it that way. In between, when you have someone who comes to you and says, "Hey, like I saw you in so and so's chat. Like, why were you there?" Mind you, this is behind the scenes. When you see them again in another chat, does it make you feel some sort of way?
Am I first? Because of course it does. What do you mean asking me why I'm at some place? Like, I don't even understand the purpose of a question like that. Like, I have no idea. What are they trying to find out? If I supported the creator, if I supported what was said, if I wanted to hang out while the chat was acting weird? Ask that question. Don't ask me, why was I there? Say, did you support it? Say, do you agree with it? Like, ask the direct question. What's with those all shady stuff? Like, I don't get it. Of course I feel some kind of way. I feel like you're fishing, like you're being shady. Like, come out with what you want to really know. Maybe I'll give you an honest answer if you give me an honest question. Like, why were you there?
Aggressive, right?
Why were you there? It makes me feel some kind of way. That's the answer. Yes, yes, Jamal.
Like,
makes
well,
me
why
feel.
were you there?
Yeah. Like, why are you asking me this? That's what it makes me feel. Like, I just, I don't understand what they're saying when they say that. I am genuinely confused by that, Jamal. People wondering why I'm someplace or what I'm doing. I don't understand the question. I don't understand the purpose of the question and what I do understand that they're going to do something shady with the answer, though. If you're asking me a question like that, I think I get that inference.
I can understand too, where like you see people like sometimes in someone's chat and they're talking crap about someone, and then you're like, well, why are you talking crap about that person? I thought you liked them. I could see if they asked that as a question, but just asking why are you there, it's like, well, what do you mean?
Yeah. What is the real question? Because that, to me, isn't the question, is it? I mean, that's that's what I meant. Like, that's not really the question they're asking, is it, Jamal?
No, I get it. 'Cause, like, for me, like, I've had people, like, especially when you have a rent, and this is what we're gonna touch on in moderators. That's gonna be the one, I think. But for subscribers, like, I've had people asking, like, why were you and so and so? And I had to be like, excuse you. And the person I told him, like, because I am 43 years old. That's why I was there. How about that?
Because you're not my mom.
Because you're not my mom. You're not my parents. I could go where I want. Grown ass. I can go where I want. That's a good answer.
I was like, so where's this coming from? They're like, well, like, and they explained. I said, like, I'm gonna give you some advice. Don't question grown folks about where they go and what they do. That's none of your concern. I said, and two, like, I don't see everything as black and white. There are creators. You can agree and disagree with creators on certain things. It's your overall. To me, it's your overall impression. Like, some creators I've liked have said things I'm like, not so much with you on that take. I can see where you're coming from, but that's not the opinion I have. But I respect your right to have that opinion. So I'm not going to just cut them off because they said one or two things I disagree with. Like, if I did that, if you did that throughout life, you'd have no one around you. So let's call a thing on that. So I wish people would get out of their boxes of I'm right. You're not right. You have opinions.
Yes.
You're only right when your opinions are backed up with facts. So I'm going to need you to sit that to the side. People are free to go wherever they want to go. I encourage people to, like, really get out on YouTube and look at all the other communities, like all the channels. I mean, there's much more variety on YouTube than there is on TV.
That is very true.
Now I sit throughout the day with my TV off because I don't watch it during the day. I'm on YouTube. Either I'm filming or I'm watching YouTube all day. Like, today is Thursday, so I will be watching my football. But outside of that, I don't turn the TV on.
I multitask.
I have not watched TV since like March, I think. Truly.
I have my TV on right now. It's just muted, but I peek and see what's going on.
I have a little devil's advocate, if you will, and plus kind of tying in a little bit to what Jackie was saying. I hear what you're saying. Like, I guess if we're talking about just an internet friend, somebody I truly consider a friend, well, actually, no. If I've got a little friendly banter with you in a chat, or if I do more than just ask you a technical question in a message, let's say someone is doing a stream about me, how I mispronounce something or whatever. I'm grasping at straws trying to think of something that someone could say horribly against me. It's so difficult. Joking. But so if it were someone I thought was cool with me and I saw them over there, I'd be like, that kind of like hurts a little bit. What what you doing? If they're participating in the making fun of me or whatever you want to call it, I would directly ask them, like, I thought we were cool, you know?
Mhm.
But if it's just someone I've seen around and don't talk to, I don't necessarily care. Now, mind you, depending on the level to which I am internet friendly with them, I'd never tell anybody what they could do. But if we're super close, I'd be like, well, man, that makes me think of you differently. I might have to put a little distance in between us, you know? But I've had the opposite scenario where I have people I support and there'll be other streams about things that they're doing. And I'm kind of like, yeah, let me hear this other person's perspective. I normally go tell on myself intentionally just to like clear the air, just to be like, hey, I'm not trying to do anything shady. I will message that person and be like, hey, I was on this person's stream because I wanted to hear their perspective and I don't want you to think I'm two-faced or whatever. I don't want to say I don't trust anybody, but I don't blindly follow any person. Nobody. Like if someone tells me something, not even just on the internet, in person, like if I see you're doing some sketchy stuff or there's something I'm questioning, I'm going to find out for myself. I'm not saying snooping or stalking, but I'm going to hear all sides of the story is basically what I am trying to say, so I can make my own decision. And I would only expect someone else to do that if there was something about me as well. Now, if you're just making fun of me as a person, the way I look, the way I speak, the way, you know, whatever, you're just being mean just to be mean and they're participating, yeah, that's not cool either. And I probably will mention something. But I feel like I also understand where you're coming from, Jamal, and being like, why do you care? Like, why are you trying to tell me what to do? If I don't have a relationship with a person, or maybe even if I do, I think it's not questioning it. It's telling me what I should or shouldn't do. That'll turn me off really quick.
Okay.
Jackie, Claire, any thoughts from you guys?
I kind of agree with that. That sounds like an adult way to handle everything. But, you know, I don't, you know, the relationships that I have on the internet are very varied and on different levels. And so you treat things differently each way. It matters how much I'm going to get into a conversation with somebody about something, whether constructive criticism or just being a bully. I have to deal with that a lot. I don't know if I'm sure we all deal with harassment a lot if you're a creator and you're out here. But, you know, I tend to not engage. I don't put my time where I don't want my time.
Very true.
And I get judged for that a lot. But if I'm not giving you the time because you're coming at me, I don't think it's worth it. There's nothing there for me to salvage. You are either coming at me the wrong way or you're coming at me with the wrong information and you didn't bother to find out the truth. Or you didn't ask me. You know, you just wanted to say something. So, you know, I get judged for that, but it's how I am. You know, I won't put my time where it can be productive and worth it. You know, you don't get to come at somebody and rip them to shreds and then wonder why they don't want to talk to you about it. I mean, to me, I don't understand that. It's like, okay, come at me, say all this stuff all over the place, and then wonder why I don't want to have a conversation with you about it. Like, are you for real? I mean, really? People don't understand that? Why I might not want to talk to you? I don't know.
That's the worst, too. It's like, especially people you thought were your friends, that you were kind of close to, that you talk to all the time. And then you do go and see them making fun of you or talking about you. And it's like, well, why didn't you just come talk to me about it? I'd been more than happy to discuss it with you.
Exactly. Right. But sometimes you don't get the same consideration because I'd like to see them go and see me doing that, which I don't. But,
exactly.
You know, I'm just gonna be me. I don't care what they do. I'm just gonna be me about it and try to handle it the best way that you can. But yeah, friends is a whole nother level, Jackie. That's like that's like that's like something totally even different. That's like mind blowing. But I'm just talking about strangers who just come at you like and in a tagging manner. And I'm not talking about constructive criticism. I mean, there's always a conversation there. If you're being real, there's always a conversation there. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all that nastiness stuff, that shady stuff. When people aren't really being real, they're putting their opinion about you out there without ever even talking to you about it. That's not right.
Worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
That hurts too a little. It's like I'd been more than happy to answer anyone's question if they just asked.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. My thing is, and I'm going to lead this into the next topic. I've seen a lot of, and it's weird, and I don't like to use the term stalking, but I'll just use weird, like how people will literally go around seeing who's commenting on people's posts and who's in so and so's chat, and then running back and telling the creator, like, this is who I saw. Like, how do you guys take that? I'm not. And you have to answer as like it happening to you. I mean, just on a journal level. Like for me, that's too much time to be running around seeing who's in whose chats, who was on commenting on so and so's posts, sending back screenshots and stuff like that. Is this better, Crystal? You sound better? Do I sound better? I just moved them.
Yeah, it sounds better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I moved the AirPods a little bit. How do you guys feel about that? Like,
I completely agree with you. I have often I've talked to Clear about this sometimes where I'm like, dude, are there really people that don't have like things to do like that? Like, I have laundry that needs to be folded. Do they want to come over and do it? Like, can you like wash my dishes for me while I go take a shower? Like, I have 2 kids. Like, what? And I know maybe not everyone has kids, but even before that, I can think of much better ways to spend my time. It is, and yes, I feel it's a little bit violating at best. It's one thing to stumble across something on the internet. It's another thing to seek out where people are going and what they're commenting, or, I mean, it's one thing if I see something, if I'm already watching a video on my friend's stream or something and I'm commenting afterwards and I happen to see a messed up comment below or something like that. That's one thing, but seeking it out is strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very strange.
Yeah. I always say that just says more about them. Like, you got to look at that behavior and say that definitely says more about them than it does you if they're doing it to you, for sure. Like, I got tore up once for liking a tweet, and I have to tell you, and don't come for me, people, or come for me if you really think it's necessary. But I laughed so freaking hard about that I hurt myself. I literally hurt myself because for somebody to say they know everything I think and everything about a certain situation because I like the damn tweet, like, oh, you go, girl, you just go with that. Like, that said everything about that person. I couldn't stop laughing for the longest time. And they really thought they were serious with some big old argument about it. And I'm like, oh man.
At that point, I think I'd screenshot my own thing and post it everywhere. Like, yep, here it is. There you go. Took the fun away for you.
My friends stopped me because I was going to go down my notifications with all the things I liked. I go, here's what I think about every damn thing today. Go with that, girl. Go with that, But I didn't, because that's just fighting with them on Twitter. And although Twitter can be a good, nice debate and a lot of fun, I just, they stopped me. Because it was ridiculous. Why get involved? I know I did too. I got the hypocrisy gift is the one that blocked me, Crystal, over at KJ's channel. She posted something and I put a hypocrisy gift on it and she blocked me. That was years ago.
Oh my gosh.
You know the hypocrisy meter where it tags all the way to the,
Yeah.
I posted that, so I got blocked. Yeah.
Oh,
But-
jeez.
What
Now,
about
at
you,
least-
Jackie? Have you had people
Oh, yeah.
watch
I've-
where you're going, what you're doing, what you're
Yeah.
liking? So weird.
And it's weird. It's weird. It's like you said, I have real lives too. I don't have kids, so I have a cat that takes up all of my time. But it's like, how do you have time to sit there and see where I am? Like, I had someone recently say, well, I saw you in Xylie's and then I saw you in Mysterious's, and it's like, and I like both
Good
of them.
for you. Your vision is
Yeah.
good.
It's like, so what are you trying to say? I'll give you my opinion on the situation, but yeah, that was the most recent one, and I was like, and
I got
So-
that one because I was a mod for both of them. I'm like, and so what? I'm like, I'm again, I'm an adult. I can. People have a right to their opinions, and they're both creators I like. So they're acting like you can't do that. I'm like, two things can be right at the same time.
yep.
They can be true at the same time. I'm going to need you to. I need people to use critical thinking or take critical thinking 101 at the local JC. Do something with yourself.
Listen,
Do
I was
something.
in the honors program at my local JC. Okay, so I cannot believe you said that. I'm just kidding.
We're
But
gonna
it's
start
true.
internet beef.
But it's true.
What?
There are things that I agree with one person, and there's things that I agree with the other, and there's things that I think both of them are wrong at. But doesn't mean I don't like them and I want to be there, because I want to be there. I'm members to both channels. Like, doesn't matter.
Right. If even if the creator has something like a problem with that, again, as long as it's not like bashing the other person and you have a relationship. The only reason I can see that being tricky is if there is, I don't know, I don't want to say a moderator for both of them, because of course you can, but what I mean is if there's more of a muddy situation other than just disagreeing opinions or disagreeing facts, or hey, I don't think this person did this the right way. If it's not respectful and if it's personally attacking the people, I can see that perhaps being an issue, but it really shouldn't be. I think as a creator, if you're not prepared to have people watch different things, your quote unquote competitors, you really got to get a thicker skin on that one, not take everything so personally.
Yeah, that's hard. They always say get a thicker skin. I guess there's degrees of it, like when people are purposely being just awful, it's kind of hard to ignore. But the little stuff, like the I did you see what she said? She said, I was going to talk about that, but it might be better for next week. But we often, if you're a moderator for channels, get put in the middle of things about what other creators are talking about. It doesn't mean you support one over the other or you have anything to say about it just because you're there modding. That's your responsibility. And, you may have liked the creator for a long time. It's one stream. I mean, I'm not going to judge them on a stream or a thought or an opinion. If I like the person, the channel in general, and the character, and I'm doing my responsibilities, you got to get a thicker skin, I guess, is what JC's saying. You can't let it bother you. I try, but, it's not easy.
Varying degrees. I'm not sitting here like on a high horse saying like nothing would ever bother me or just blow everything off, but I think I'm more talking about it on a superficial level. Let's say even just there was someone else who decided to do Hawthorne readings, which freaking awesome. We found another friend. That would be the first thing that I thought. But also maybe it's the same time as my live stream. I've even had people come to me and say like, sorry, I couldn't make your live stream or this, that, the other. Like, no big deal. I don't make all of yours, or B, like, people have lives and you may not be interested in everything I'm interested in.
Right.
But let's say, you know, some folks that watch my live streams would go to the other person and be in both of their chats. This isn't even anything emotions related. This is just, hey, we're doing the same thing. So I guess some people would see us as competition. I think you've got to, that's the kind of thicker skin, I guess, that I'm trying to say, because I don't think you can expect too much out of people sometimes, and especially people on the internet. And again, I'm saying this kind of taking out the personal relationships. You know what I mean? Like, just, I guess, strictly from a, hey, we do similar things.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm making a good point or not, but I'm trying.
No, you are. You are.
Some
No,
things
you
it's
are.
okay
We get
not
it.
to have a thick skin about. It's okay to get your feelings hurt sometimes.
Well, you're human.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. There are different degrees. I agree. It's hard. You just try to, not let anybody see it too. If you have a channel. Anyway, subscribers, they're a little freer. They can let their stuff out, But, yeah.
True.
Very true, yeah. And yes, Rebecca, when you're living in different time zones, you're gonna miss live streams. I'm part of a lot of replay crews. And I live in some of the same time zones too. It's just you got time. You got time. I hate when I miss lives. But it happens.
There's just too many. I have too many friends that have channels of their own. And plus, there's too many other interests that I have. I can't watch it. I can't. It's impossible.
No,
and they all know. Like, I got a long replay list. Like, I catch up at the end of the day or whatever. It's impossible.
I don't think any stable person with good boundaries would expect any less, Even as a subscriber, like if I'm the creator and I don't see all my subscribers there all the time, then that should be understandable.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to take a step back too from YouTube because there's so much drama happening too, and that's okay too.
Sometimes maybe you just want to do something different.
Yeah.
I mean, although it seems like a lot of us are on YouTube a lot, myself included, I guess there's other stuff to do in life, I guess there's that too. So sometimes people may want to participate in other parts of life. So.
I mean that's so true. It's sometimes take a step back. That's why I kind of just took a step back and started going into other communities. So like, I'm gonna say like this anti-KJ is a complete and utter mess, and I just don't want really any parts of that. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Some people are a little cuckoo. I was having a conversation, and I'm getting completely off topic, but not to be like, this is not something to brag about, but I was a subscriber to her when she had like under 2,000 subs. The difference in some of the folks, not everyone, but some of the folks that came later, like after the Amber Portwood stuff, when everybody came out of the woodwork, it was a little bit of a different demographic. I'll just say that. Not everyone. So if there's anybody in chat here that came after, I'm not necessarily calling you cuckoo. I would not do that. But I think we've all seen through different situations that lady has been in, legal or not, that some people have just attracted to the nutbag that is KJ. I'll just say that.
Oh yeah. Don't say her name, she'll tweet. No, especially on my channel.
I think sometimes crazies attract each other, and I'm saying that not in a derogatory term. Hopefully, I have mental health issues myself. I'm just saying some people who just don't know boundaries very well.
Very true.
Okay, so now we can go into a not so pleasant part of a conversation when subscribers take things a little too far. So we're talking about the subscriber that's gone from subscriber to stan. And I want to know, have you guys seen any stan behavior in your time on YouTube?
Like that we have stands?
Yeah.
I don't have any stands.
I do. She's on this panel. I'm just kidding.
Oh, there you go. But I thought I was your imaginary friend, and
You are
call me
my
dude.
imaginary stand.
She really does call you dude if you're a friend. Just
Yeah. I also, the more I insult you, the more that I love you.
I know, and you know, I don't think I have stands. I'm so small. I haven't seen it yet. I have people I like chatting with, and I have friends of the channel that are there like a lot. I have my moderators that support. But what is a stand like? All right, maybe I'm just dumb, and I'll admit it. Maybe I'm just being dumb bear here. What the heck is the actual definition of a stand? Like, where's the line? And maybe I could answer the question.
So, do you know the Eminem song?
Well, I know who he is. What song are you talking about?
The Stan
right?
song. Eminem sings a song about a fan that was writing him letters to the point that it got to that Eminem didn't respond, and he got very crazy about not getting a response back.
Okay, so are you saying that there is the word obsessive is in the definition of the word stan?
A little bit, and then some.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I just put it in the chat for you.
Oh,
there
did
we
you?
go. An overzealous or obsessive fan of a particular celebrity. He has millions of stans who are obsessed with him and call him a rap god. Yes. Josh is my stan, everyone. Watch out for him.
Then I have fans, but they have nobody is writing me letters. Nobody is trying to find. Well, I have people that are obsessed with me trying to find out my shit, but not fans.
I think you do, because you have the people that come in and do bots and stuff during your live stream. So I know that's a negative way to try to get your attention, but that's them.
Yeah, all right, you're right. I have negative stans that aren't fans. Like, I thought you had to be a fan to be a stan. I have serious.
So. I think a stan is something that someone who was a fan and then gets a little too obsessive that it gets out of reality, and they will do anything and not have anything to stop them.
I'll jump in real quick. So what I'm asking is, like, so generally it goes, you go from subscriber to fan to stan. What I'm asking, I'm not asking you guys about your personal experience. I'm asking, have you guys seen, like, from as a spectator, have you seen stan behavior before?
Oh, yes,
I have.
Yeah,
especially like, with all this Trisha stuff, her stans are coming out the woodwork, very much so.
I've seen even like smaller channels than that are like mid-sized, that I have talked to creators that have stalkers, have people like harassing them as a stan, started as a fan and then did not get the response that they wanted, or kind of tried to keep it in the, like, your subscriber zone. Like, you know, no, you can't have my personal deets. No, I'm not going to share my phone number. And boom, switch to obsessive MF and, like, you know, trying to do all kinds of hurtful things. It's crazy. Like, is that what you mean? Like, I've seen that. That's like, I don't want that. I'm not missing that. I don't want any of that.
No, I've seen them, but in my experience, it really goes down on Twitter. I'm like, I can think of one person in particular, a Minecraft YouTuber. Like, when he got in hot water, like his stance, I'm like, see, nah, I can't do it. I cannot do it. And I think, Claire, you know Dream, right? Dream, the creator.
What? Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah. His stands, I mean, and also Corpse Husband is another one I've seen. Like, Claire, you know Corpse Husband. I think everyone does, right?
Yes, I do. He is my perfect.
I have listened to him once because, like, I think somebody mentioned what
I mentioned him because
yeah,
he's my go-to when anybody says show your face. I'm like, no, 5 million subscribers and doing damn good says I don't have to. Go see Corpse Husband. He hasn't even shown a finger. Like, no,
But Claire,
leave
do
me
you
alone.
remember like? Do you remember like? Was it last year? Do you remember like people like a small group of people were trying to find his identity and how the
Yes,
stands
they
just jumped
harassed
on
him.
them?
They did.
Yeah,
And he,
and then the stands
Mhm.
came. The stands came and like they terrorized like the small group of people. I think they ran them off the internet, if I recall correctly. It was bad, but I'm
Yeah.
like stands.
What?
Stands.
Mm,
I mean, oof. It's tough out there in the streets.
It is.
It's tough
Even
in the streets.
I mean, I
H3
think
got
we've
lots of
seen
stands.
what's that? I'm sorry.
H3 podcast, they have lots of stands that were going after
Is that somebody
Trisha.
related to Trisha Paytas?
Well, Ethan
Yes,
Klein,
Ethan.
yeah, H3.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is
It's
the old
okay,
person
it's
coming
okay.
out in me. I don't know.
Hey, it's better you don't.
I mean, I
know
think
what's
we've seen
wrong.
that behavior from people who followed that one lady too, you know, like just in
Mhm.
defense, constantly harassing
Constantly.
others.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the only example that I know that we can,
She got stands for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and they take it too far too. Like I agree. Like be a fan, be supportive, stick up for the person. But when they're going personal attacking on people, looking for their information, getting into their private lives, and like, ooh, that's crazy. I'm sorry. That they should have a new word. Like this is why I don't understand. Stan. That's not Stan. That's crazy. That's obsessed. That's like there are terms that exist for these people besides Stan that I understand. Like out of their minds. Like. What makes you think that's right? What makes you think that that's appropriate? Like, I don't get it. Like, just because I'm out here doesn't mean I belong to everybody, does it? I mean,
No.
No.
And that's
yeah.
on the internet and in life. I don't care. I teach my own kid right now. Like, you don't have to do anything you don't want to. My kid's in elementary school, and like, you don't want to give somebody a hug, you don't want to give them a hug. They get upset at it. That's their problem. Now you treat everyone with respect and you say hello to them, even wave or just a smile. But no, just because somebody wants something doesn't mean they get it. Are you kidding me? No.
I don't know. Can we just have regular fans? I would just like some of those. I could use a couple hundred more so I could get my community tab.
Right?
No, we're getting
But-
no, Claire, we're getting them October 12th.
Oh, that's right. Because if you're over 500, right? Like if you're over
Right.
500,
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to that. So please stay with me, people. Keep me there.
Right?
I think you need to have a freaking community tab live stream party whenever that happens, because you've been
I
going
don't know.
with that ever since I've known you.
I know,
I'll be
but
celebrating with you.
I know. I've been trying, but
Yeah.
maybe that's it. Christopher's got an. I'll give out autographs. Okay, Christopher, you guys get me to 1,000, and I'll give out autographs. I will prepare naked avatar pictures, and I will autograph them for you. And
There you go.
there you go.
Nice.
There you go.
And you
So,
can put it on your community post.
That's right. There it is.
There you go, Jackie.
Well, that's what I would have to do, because I would want to protect all of your privacies, because that's just the bear that I am. So then when you get me that community tab, I will take naked avatar picture, I will sign it, and I will post it up so you can copy that picture and you can say I sent it to you. It will be for all of you. But I won't want your personal deets or anything, because, that's your business, not mine, But,
Sorry.
Right.
I know, Jamal. We really took you off topic because it's hard to talk about stands.
Someone said about how the Beatles, early Beatles concerts, the fans are terrifying and the old footage out of control.
That's crazy.
That's
I don't.
Stan-like behavior. I see that with even the Grateful Dead, because I know a bunch of older Deadheads that they were worse than Beatles fans.
Wow.
With the Deads, yeah.
So do you think it's like more mob mentality, or do you think these people would act that way if they were just by themselves, like if the person wasn't as big or if there weren't so many fans? Do you think they're just like feeding off some weird energy, or?
No, I think being a stan, that's just who you are. You just happen to find a community of like-minded people.
I think with the Beatles, though, that's what contributed, that there was like such an out of control thing, and then people were acting out of control, so more people started out of control because it was acceptable to be screaming and yelling and carrying on, and like, you know, that was scary for them. I don't, I can't even imagine.
BTS nowadays, they got lots of stands.
Oh yeah. Yes, that's just flat insane. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it.
That's a crazy. I could not be a fan. Like, I mean, I live close to a couple of people that singers, songwriters, or performers that I met in person at school, or could see live with a function with their own child or whatever, and they performed some charity contests and have businesses and all, but I do get starry-eyed, but I don't get like stan. Like, I'm not going to go over there and like, you know, interrupt their dinner, or, you know, send them letters in the mail.
That's what I don't know. That's who it is now.
I don't know. Well, he's older now, but it was John Bon Jovi, and I could tell you when he was younger, my God, he was a good-looking. But
see, I'm a hardcore Blink-182 fan. I didn't interrupt his dinner any day.
And he does a lot of charity work, and they have like charity businesses in the area that we're involved with. So, you know, but I would never like stand like that. Like, you'd sit back in awe and you're impressed, but I would feel too uncomfortable to do like send them love letters.
I'd interrupt someone's dinner for the right person. I sure would.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I knew Blink-182's. I went to a concert, and I knew what song they always played last, and I made sure that last song I left and went to the fence area where they come off stage just so I could meet them.
I did the same thing for Fiona Apple.
Yes.
But I asked her when she was there. I was the first person back there waiting, and when she did come out to meet people, I saw people like just like putting their arms around her and stuff like that. I did ask her. I'm like, we took a picture together. I said, "Do you mind if I put my arm around you?" Like, I felt inappropriate just touching the person, but heck yeah. Yeah,
I love Crystal. I love Crystal's comment. Where does it go? Crystal says, I went to a New Kids on the Block concert one time, and the girls were like crying. Same thing. I had never seen anything like that in my life.
I know. I don't understand being that much of a fan. I don't think I could do that, but I don't know.
Listen, tears may have been shed after I got to meet my idol, Fiona Apple. Okay? Like, judge me. I don't give.
Oh, no. I don't judge you because she's cool. She's really, she's pretty cool. But I didn't.
Nobody else but her. So, yeah. I've never sent her a letter. I've never tried to find out her information. Right. I don't know anything else about her. But did I shed a tear or two after I met her? Yes. And
you weren't hiding her in the basement either. Like some people.
Not that day. No.
So to shift to do a little shift here. Now, like, what is how can I put this? What is your favorite part of parasocial relationships?
Connecting with people.
I know. Knowing you make a difference. When you had the conversation with somebody and they say, that helped, that made a difference, you made me think about something different. Like, knowing you connected with somebody on a level, they actually heard you and it changed something.
I don't do anything that altruistic, so.
I'm not altruistic. Really? I'm just a bear on the internet, for Christ's sake. Why can't you? What?
I like when
it's just God.
Like, you made my night feel so much better. It's like, that makes me feel better that I'm doing something good for others, that I can make them laugh.
That's right. That conversation we had, Jackie, just recently, if you can relate to somebody on a level like that, those things are important. That's what matters to me. It doesn't matter where they come from, who they are, what the situation is. It's getting heard and hearing other people. Really. Is that altruistic? Really?
No, I'm just saying, I'm just making fun of myself as I always do, a little stuff.
People, don't let her put you in the imaginary BFF category. You see the abuse I have to take?
See, I'm a jerk. So nobody comes to me saying, thanks for calling me imaginary friend.
It's like, I don't mind. You are one of my favorite jerks.
Down than lifting you up.
It's okay. I collect assholes on the regular. It's okay. I like it, actually. I think at least it's real. It's fucking real. So I like it.
How I found you.
I know.
I really like connecting with people and sharing my interests. I know I've said that 100 million times, but I mean, there are people in my in-person life I may have this little connection with, or maybe we like the same book or whatever, but everything combined, I just love talking about the things that I like talking about, finding other people who want to talk to me and listen to me talk about them, and get attacked by bees on live stream, because that happens.
Yeah.
But
it happened today. It did.
Oh my God.
I didn't get stung, but it did come right up to my face and just stay there for a hot second. I was like, excuse me, I guess he wants to be on camera.
Like my cat all the time.
I'd rather a cat than a bee. Holy crap.
Yeah, I'd prefer my cat than a bee too. But she tries to like jump on the table to get to the microphone, and it's like, all right, cut it out. Now you're getting a little too close. No.
Cat needs to know boundaries. He needs to talk with Jamal so he can learn his boundaries. We're not that close, Cat. We're not that close.
Like you can sleep like Kitty, you can sleep next to the bed, but we're not cool enough you can sleep on the bed. We're not there yet.
Right. We're not there. No Kitty.
Well, I did make this avatar when she does come. It says, my cat says hi.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. There was one more question I had. Oh, so within your parasocial relationship, how do you think? How do you know when to move them forward? Is it something that you initiate? Like, do you initiate, or are you a person who kind of sits back and lets the other person come to you?
Like, who makes moves first in friendship? Online?
Yeah, you're friendly to a point. It's kind of surfacey. But then, are you the type of person who will initiate getting to know someone better, or are you a person who will let someone come to you?
Oh, that's tough. I'm both. Maybe I'm weird. A connection happens immediately with me and people. Like if you're my friend on a different level, it's because that connection happened immediately. I didn't reach out to you. You didn't reach out to me. Like something happened and there it was. Boom. I don't know. But do I reach out a lot? Yeah. I'm the first one. If someone sat on the internet with a heart and a hug, I'm the one that's always saying, I got an ear, and I mean it. Like I'm there with an ear. If you want to talk, and I'm not going to judge, just say what you got to say. Do what you got to do. Everybody needs a stranger or a voice that doesn't matter sometimes. I do that. I do that for lots of people. Some of those people become really good friends of mine and some don't. Some of those relationships go forward. I don't push them. They just, I don't know. I can't say, Jamal. I think it happens organically. I don't recall who pushed what,
I'm the same way though.
Oh, let's just take us, Jamal. Who would you say contacted the other one first or went forward more where we're talking about stuff other than just, hi, wasn't that a great video?
I think for us, it was more we saw each other. We hung out in similar areas. So it was more natural. It was more of a natural,
organic, thing. Right? An organic possession. Nobody did anything. It just happened. There was a connection over things, then it just developed, and that's what I mean. Like, I don't recall pushing. I mean, I'm a flatterer. If somebody is really tripping my trigger because they're funny or they're intelligent, I'll tell them. It will come falling out of my mouth like all the time. So maybe that's pushing forward when you're making them feel good. I don't know. I don't know.
Only for me, I'm a sit back. I'm more of a sit back person. I'm pretty open to anyone who I haven't seen be a complete asshole somewhere. So if you talk and we see each other around, we talk and talk. We're good. So I'm more of a sit back person. So I like to observe and I like to see consistent behavior before I move
Mhm.
forward with anything. But I'm open to
Mhm.
most people.
I
How
know.
did you and Josh become friends, Jackie? Don't tell too much personal
Oh
detail
no,
on
it's
stream.
we were on the same Discord and we just started talking and I invited him. He started hanging out at Sunshinery when we were doing streams, and I would have him up on panel with us. And then he came into my Discord, and we started doing voice chats and talking, and it grew from there. Now I'm like, every time I need to talk to someone, I'm like, Josh, get on voice chat now.
He's telling a different story. I'm just saying.
Oh, of course.
Yep. Yeah, you calling you a harasser and you just made him do it. I don't know what's going on after. No, I'm only kidding. Josh wouldn't say that, but I know. But
I have
sometimes.
to say, oh, go ahead, Claire.
No, go ahead. I don't have anything to say.
I think previously I was more of the sounds so weird, the initiator. But I think again, because let's just say this. I was a teenager in the 90s, so AOL chat rooms, yes. Knew there was weirdos out there. I'm not naive. But never really participated that much personally since then. Well, first of all, chat rooms were not personal at all. But so this was my first time interacting with strangers on the internet other than chat rooms, like Facebook, all that kind of stuff. Basically, what I'm saying is anybody I knew before was people I knew in person life at one point or another. So I kind of didn't know how to do things, and I didn't know that there were people who would find out your personal information if they just didn't like you that day and try to harm you and stuff like that. So I was a little bit more forthcoming, I guess. I'm not as much now, not that I'm opposed to it, but I do kind of, since we saw some wackadooness back about a year ago, I tend to do what Jamal says, and I wait until I see consistent behavior before I don't want to say before I like correspond, because there's some people will share information like about graveyards or different little topics we're interested in. Also, I'm not a serial killer. I just want to put that out there. But but personal information or being the initiator of a friendship, other than the few people that I've connected to on a personal level already, I kind of don't, because I'm scared.
I remember those AOL days when you would just go into a chat and be like, ASL.
Yeah.
And they were, but
I gotta
I
go. My
didn't
mom
know.
needs the phone.
Yeah, I didn't know with YouTube though that there were people that would go above and beyond to like find out your information or like want to be your friend and then backstab you like a month later.
Like,
you don't really want to talk about that, do you?
Started my channel,
but it happens.
Sorry.
Tell me about it. It's not something I would ever do, regardless of this person doing it to me repeatedly, and in a most obnoxious way that I can possibly think. And while they were pretending to be my friend. But here's the thing. I'm not going to be like that. I don't even really want to talk about it, but it happens. People go in real life, and I'm just going to say, you never know. Like, somebody presents themselves a certain way. You know, I'm a trusting person. I'm going to believe that what I think they are is what they are, and I'm going to go by that. So I own the fact that I made a mistake thinking this person was something other than what they were. I own that. I played idiot. I didn't have my eyes open wide enough. And I'm paying the price for it, But I won't change who I am. I'm still going to trust other people because I do believe, and call me an idiot or not, I believe that says more about them than anything about me or anything I could do.
Does.
You
And
know,
I'm not just saying that because, you know, you're my imaginary friend.
Because you're biased. You're biased.
Right.
You're bare biased, I know. But still, I do believe it says more about them because even with them doing that, I'm not, and I won't, and I could, but I won't. And people have offered, but I won't let them. And people won't, you know, they want to accuse me of using my friends to attack them. No, I'm not. If my friends are attacking people, it's because they think what you're doing is shitty. It's not because I said a damn word, because you're not going to see me out there saying anything but stick it up for myself. If I said it, I said it. And it's out there and it's under my account and it's me. Okay.
Right.
I don't have anybody doing anything. If anything, and some of you are my friends here and some of you are my friends in chat, what do I always say? Stay out of it. Don't get yourself hurt. I don't want anybody else getting hurt, period. That's what I say all the time.
You know, we're going to cover this in creator parasocial relationships, but as I've stated before, Claire has asked me to stay out of situations, and I respected her request. Because my natural instinct is to jump in, like, hey, no, that's not right. This is how I see it, but she's asking me to stay out of it, so I stay out of it, and that's what you should do.
You should. Well, and I'm not saying you can't have an opinion. I'm not trying to be everybody's internet mama. I'm not. I'm just saying don't go with my name out there and do anything in my name. But if you have a strong opinion about another person's behavior, then you go out there as you with that about the issue, okay? About the issue or the behavior, because I'm never about the names and the dragging and the ruining of reputations, you know. But if you have something to say about an issue, go right ahead. But I don't want anybody, you know, getting beat over the head with me. You know what I mean? Like I'm uncomfortable with that because then things start happening in my name that I'm not behind. People start getting hurt in my name, and that I can't tolerate. It's bad enough I get hurt. It's even worse if somebody else gets hurt because of it.
And I've learned too, it's like I appreciate people sticking up for me when people are saying things bad about me or lying and they know that they're lying. But I don't want them to get hurt. That it's just better they stay out of it so they're not getting hurt along with me.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard because you want the support, but you don't want to get people being hurt because of it, and you don't want like sides drawn and people being conflicted and all that other stuff. You know, at least I don't. I don't. You know, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I like what they did, because damn, that was shitty. That was some shitty ass behavior on all levels, but still.
Absolutely.
All right, I think we are good, ladies. Are we good for this episode?
Yes.
I think it was
now, Jamal. One question for you though: which was harder, trying to wrangle us three and stay on track, or like 7 or 8 people? Because I think we were more off topic tonight than any of the others.
Well, when you talk about relationships of any kind, there's so many ways it could go because one thing tends to lead into another. So it wasn't difficult at all. It's just these are the hardest conversations to have on YouTube, simply because they can go so many different ways, and then people really don't want to talk about them honestly. So I think we've done a good job.
We tried. Yeah. Yeah, that you like took all our relationships, flushed them down the toilet, and stomped all over everything over here on YouTube. But no, that's not true. Actually, I feel pretty good about everything that we all said. It's the truth.
Yeah, you're asking really awesome questions. I really appreciate them. They're thought-provoking.
Yes, they very much are.
I mean, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it properly and have the conversations. And that's in my time on YouTube, I've noticed that people only want to touch on the surface part of the question, or the questions they ask are very surface. I'm like, well, there's more here. Like, why are you afraid to just say what you have to say? But nowadays, people are afraid to say what they want to say because they're afraid of going against popular opinion. Well, I don't care about popular opinion. I care about what you actually think.
Right.
So people need to understand like it's okay to give your opinions. Yeah, you may make some people mad, but hey, it is what it is.
Opinions aren't right or wrong. They're opinions, right? Like who said like it's a right or wrong part of anything? It's an opinion. Yeah, that's the problem. It's not right or wrong. It's an opinion. You know, it's you put too much weight on this stuff, you know. It's just and they can change. Like if you get more information, like don't say, oh you said this last year.
Exactly.
Okay, I've grown in a year, or I found more information out. Like that's just ridiculous, you know.
Or 3. Well, you see this clip from like 4 years ago. I'm gonna need you to stop at the 4 years ago.
Right.
Like people can grow and change over 4 years. Now, if they hadn't grown or changed over the 4 years, they kept the same shitty behavior over 4 years, then call it out, then be concerned. But don't come to me. Well, you said this 4 years ago and blah blah blah. I'm like, shut up.
Oh yeah, the things that I said about a certain demographic of people, and now one of my children is in that demographic of people. I mean, I used to say the R word all the freaking time. So if someone saw something like that, and I understand everyone has their own opinion of whether blah, 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 blah. I personally don't like it. But if someone saw that from years ago and brought it up now, like, oh, you say you don't like it. I think it should be like credit. Anything online past 7 years, everybody just forgets about it. Unless, like you said, let's focus on the here and now. Are you that same person now? Have you grown? Have you changed? Have you learned anything? Yes. Cool. No.
Have the conversation, right? Like, don't just make a judgment, especially on something that's 7 years old. I mean, you know, have a conversation. You know, that is it.
I will say this though. Here's why I don't. How can I put this politely? I think like so. I'll get my age. So I'm 40. I'm 43. Like, are we all within 20? We're all within like 20 years of each other, right?
Yeah, I'm 34.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
Look at Jamal asking a whole bunch of women how old they are. You know that's not.
I have no issue. I have no issue. I have no issue asking you.
And haven't you heard, like, I'm like 97 or something, and I live in Australia.
Right? You're like 98, right?
Yeah, something like that. I think
you're the same age as my grandma.
Yeah, I could be. I'm probably the same age as my grandma, from what they say. So.
Right? I'm like, okay. So I'm gonna say that. So like, times have changed. Like, humor has changed. Now, does anybody remember like Eddie Murphy? We're talking about early Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Red Fox. Okay. Do you think they would be canceled today? Like
they wouldn't even have a start.
Yeah, right.
You know,
there was like Andrew Dice Clay, Chris Rock. Oh my God, Louis Black. Oh my God, CK. All of them. Like, if you're a comedian up there doing stand-up, I'm surprised they even had a job the next day. Right.
Comedy. Who watched Comedy Central back in the day?
Yeah.
All canceled. All canceled. Everybody canceled.
Yeah.
And think about it. So compare that and thinking about how nowadays Dr. Seuss just got canceled. Like,
exactly. You know, that cracked me up. Yeah, they canceled Dr. Seuss.
Oh my God.
They did. So, I'm telling you, they're insane.
They did.
Insane. They canceled. They went for Captain Crunch too. I'm telling.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love hearing Claire crack up.
I missed that one. Damn.
Yeah, that was
next.
Wasn't
Disney's
it?
gonna be canceled?
They canceled him. They went back to. They looked back. People like do an upgrade about his books. You know, some of the drawings and stuff like that.
And the dude's dead.
And he's gone. Right.
Person.
Yeah, it was the fox in the socks and the rhyme. Oh, they just couldn't handle the rhyme. I don't know. They're gonna make something about something all the time. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's gonna happen when you take something from the past that you try to apply today to it without making educated adult adjustments in your brain like that you should. It's 20 years ago. Of course, things were different then. That's reality.
Doesn't mean it was right, but like Jamal said, we have grown. You know what I mean?
Oh, but okay. So it wasn't a full cancellation. They just stopped printing. They only canceled some of his seriously offensive books. Okay.
Well, what books were offensive? Which ones?
There were a couple. There were a couple. Like if you give it to
They
give it
didn't
to
want to
Days.
eat green eggs.
No, it was
Days.
more about it was more about how language is used nowadays
Yes.
and how he
Yes.
used it then. So words
Correct.
he may have used and rhymes he may have used that were innocent or not back then are really offensive right now because of
Correct.
how the language gets used. So it's really just how language has grown, and that happens a lot in our society. Words are appropriate or not at any given time. So I understand their issues, but damn, to cancel a man who did not mean it at the time. I mean, I understand you don't want it out there now, and I agree that maybe some of it didn't need to be republished if it was going to be interpreted different than how he meant it. Right. So I can understand how it happened, but damn, it was funny as hell to me that they tried to cancel Dr. Seuss. I did get a big laugh out of it because I'm like, the man did not mean what they're saying he meant. It may be interpreted that way now, but why are you doing that on a 20-year-old book or a 30-year-old? Like, why are you doing that?
My thing is this: we have to. I think as a society, you have to allow people the room to grow. And then you allow them the room to grow, and then you can't, when they make you mad, you can't go back to that same thing that you acknowledged their growth. You can't keep throwing it in their face. It's not right. It's not fair.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. You can't really, Dr. Seuss can't really grow if he's not alive.
Yeah, he couldn't even come out in defense of what they were interpreting. So like,
so they should be canceled for picking on a dead person.
Well, Belinda's right. It wasn't like a true cancel. There were some people that were really out there about it, but all in all, it didn't end up to be a true cancel. There was some people who were really taking it too far, but she's absolutely correct. It wasn't a real like cancel, but I did still find it quite amusing. They were going for him that way. I did.
Oh, she said that it was the Dr. Seuss estate that made the decision. The books were offensive back then too. Okay,
that makes sense.
Yep.
Because the way they phrased it, like they tried to just completely cancel this man. I'm like, are you serious?
Well, there was a certain fringe of people who were, but not the majority. Not the main. They just didn't want, and then, like she said, the estate decided that they don't want his reputation out there like that way, and it was a good compromise. It was communication and compromise at its best. The decision that was made, I kind of could stand by that, Yeah.
In these situations, it always amazes me how it's always like the friends group that's always the loudest. It seems in these situations, like it's like the main core group just wants some accountability and some justice, while the fringe group just goes out of their minds.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like no redemption. Like we just it's not about the issue anymore. It's just we want you done, basically. It's like, wait a minute here. Is that what we want, or do we want the issue resolved?
Right.
Exactly.
And because
I'm sorry, Claire, I have to run.
Right.
Thank you, Jackie, for hosting. Thank you,
John,
for the awesome questions. Thank you, Claire, for continuing to be my imaginary friend.
I don't know. We're gonna have to talk after this one. No, I'm kidding. We wouldn't be friends if I couldn't harass you on the regular, because I am that asshole. I definitely am that asshole. So yeah, okay.
Same, girl.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, JC.
Bye. Well, but it's true that, those things were offensive back then, but even though in some ways the majority found it acceptable, it still was offensive, some of it, like many things from the past that were commonplace, that were not appropriate. And when you look at it now, it's not right. And people didn't speak up then because they were in the minority, the ones who thought it wasn't appropriate,
Very true.
And now it's switched, people are more willing to put their voices out there and say, hey, that's not right, So,
yeah.
So, well, have we covered everything, parasocial, everything instead of subscribers, right?
No. Oh, I saved my moderation one for your panel next week because I was told I had a parasocial relationship as moderator. So I can't wait to talk about that next week on your channel.
Well, that is, we gotta talk about that. Like, I guess you do. I guess you do have a different level of parasocial relationship. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we lose you, Jamal?
He's muted.
I think we did. Is he? So canceled is such a reductive way to describe things like that. It implies that folks are being sensitive rather than refusing to accept being degraded. And I agree. That does kind of make it sound like, oh, poor Dr. Seuss, when, yes, there should be accountability. You're right. There should be. And when the people are speaking up saying they don't want to be degraded, or it shouldn't be interpreted that way anymore, or that was wrong then and it's wrong now. You're right. When people say, oh, but you're just trying to cancel him. Well, there was a good compromise with this. They agreed. And so they agreed that not everything he did was wrong, but some of it was. And the estate agreed. And that's the way those things should be approached, instead of like,
that's
with the word cancel culture.
Like in my area, they removed a Christopher Columbus statue because of what he had said and done. And I understand why, because, they've explained what his history was. But they were also, back then when they put it up, he was the founder of a country and finding America and all that. And that's why. But it's like, okay, I see having to remove it, but then put a statue up that now can explain somebody else that did something good. Right. It doesn't. It's hard because Columbus.
Because you have to weigh it out, like how much pain and suffering and bad content there is versus something good. You know what I mean? Like they have to weigh that out. Yeah, he discovered America, but like, what did he do? How did he do it? What did he do it? And what did he represent when it happened? Are also valuable to the fact that he did discover. You know what I mean? So they got to balance it out.
As well. So yes, now we're in a different time. So let's put a statue up that represents now and a better people representing good and change and things like that.
You try, because it's like, just like you say, you're just using the word canceled. It doesn't actually mean the same to everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't, it is, like you said, just because you're trying to get somebody to own up to something doesn't mean you're trying to cancel them. And I think that's what Belinda meant. Just because you're holding somebody accountable for their actions or how they make people feel doesn't mean you're pulling cancel culture on them and saying, oh, get out of here. No, that's not. No, how about just making them accept responsibility for what they did, or looking at the issue for what it is, and coming up with a viable solution like they did,
And Belinda, you're right on track with why they removed it. They were saying that he had founded the new world at that point. It wasn't America, but
and I agree with her.
It was because of what he did, and I agree.
And I agree with her too, because when you see, like, you discovered this land, and then what you did, that's wrong. Like, that's what I mean. That's, he's getting judged more for, not the fact that they put their foot on soil and said, oh, new land. It's what they did after that. It's how they did it. It's what they instigated. And I agree with you, Belinda. That's why it outweighed it. You know what I mean? They were celebrating one little good part and not looking at all the other stuff. I mean, we stole a country. Well,
they wrote the history books the way they wanted them written, and now we have this opportunity to be able to research beyond research and find out everything as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, Reagan. They're going to go for Mr. Rogers too. They've tried.
They have. I saw.
They have, and I love
that. Yes.
I love Mr. Rogers, and they tried to go for him too. And I'm like, oh my god,
he did so much good stuff for the children. Oh, I watched the whole documentary on it.
I know, you get to a certain age, and you're like, is anything good left? Are you going to tear everything of my childhood apart? Like, are you going to take it all, people? Like, come on, like, leave me something. Like, I actually feel like I lived through a time that wasn't the truth. Like, I don't even know what really happened. Like, gotta go
Right?
back and research it all again to find out, did that really happen all around me like that way? Because the stories are changing, you know. It's you know,
I think I think what happens is we're just in the age of questioning.
yes.
True.
We're in the age of we're not blindly accepting everything we read as fact.
Well, we're
So
in the information age for sure. We
that
have more
too.
information
Yeah.
at our fingertips than any other generation ever. Like right
Yes.
now, everybody living,
Mhm.
we can find out just about anything that we want or have an interest in. So you don't get to go with just what somebody said or what you saw. You can find
can't-
out more and more
You
and
know
more.
what? You know what it is though. If we're being honest with ourselves as a society,
We're nosy.
we're no longer in a position to where we can just blindly follow people, because now you can't just say I was listening to this person or I followed this person. Now the followers are being held accountable as well, when before that wasn't really the case.
Yeah.
You
That's
don't have that shield anymore.
Ooh. No, well, that's not right either. Like anybody, what do you mean? Like in general, or you mean like
So
YouTube? Or
no, I mean in general, like think about it. So back in the day, you could say, "Oh, well, why did you do that?" "Oh, because so and so told me to." You can't do that anymore. Like
no,
now,
you get it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you're held accountable. There's much more accountability nowadays, especially
Yeah.
personal accountability. Because like if I
Hmm.
do something, for example, if I do something at work that's wrong,
Hmm.
well, why did you do that? Well, so my manager told me to, but you knew
Right.
that was wrong, right? Well,
Hmm.
yeah, I thought so. Then why did you do it? You can't see that you're going to get that question back to you. If you knew better, why didn't you do better? Is basically what it comes
Well,
down to.
yeah, because lemon syndrome is never really a good excuse. You know, like the lemmings that just throw themselves off the edge of the bridge,
Yeah,
the cliff once a year in California. Okay, so just following the pack has never ever been an acceptable reason. I mean, my nan, she boxed my ears if I said that, but that would never wash. Like, oh, why'd you do it? Well, my friend said. Oh, your friend said. Oh, your friend, your friend did this, your friend did that. What did you think? Like always making you accountable for your own actions, But I get what you're saying. Nowadays, you can't even approach it that way. You're going to
no,
be
you can't.
held
No,
to, yeah. It's more of a see something, say something society, and I kind
yes,
of agree with that. Yeah.
And
but we've come a
Kelly, you
long
said
way.
it perfect too about the Christopher Columbus. They didn't teach us that in school. They
Mm-mm.
only taught us what they wanted us to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they did, and they left the bot, and they're still trying. It's unfortunate they're still trying to keep people from telling the truth in school about history in general, and I think that's wrong. History is history. Lay it out there. Lay out the facts. Let people decide for themselves. I mean, history, you can't change it. Like some people are gonna look bad. It happened. You need to tell the story the way it was, not the way you wanted it to be, or to make yourself look better. Like it's history. It's a
Mm-hmm.
fact. History should be a fact, right? It should be the truth.
Yes, it's there. Um, you just take it for what it is and you keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But this has been good, and I just added this topic to something else that I'll just hang out with me for a couple minutes, and I'll explain to you. I added this topic as well to something else.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It was fun hanging with everybody. Thank you, everyone in chat. This has been a blast.
Yes,
This is a
it's
good
always
conversation. I think it just needed to be had. Like these, I think all these conversations need to be had, but in this way, to where you can have differences of opinions, but still come together and talk about it, and just really talk about it, and no one has to be afraid that someone's going to jump on them. So this is why we do it.
yes. I love doing this. Well,
I
thank
do.
you guys for coming. Next week we will be on Claire's channel. Same time, same day, correct?
Yes, I like Thursdays at 5. That works for me. So I think
Works
it's
for me.
parasocial relationships with moderators and moderation. So
Mm-hmm.
there you go. And
Yes, so be
nothing
there or
else.
be square now.
or round or triangle, whatever you want. Just be there.
Exactly. And thank
Right.
you, Jamal, for doing this wonderful series, because it's needed to have these conversations, like you said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Thank you
fun.
both.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank everyone for being here. And see you next week.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.